welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of Fairy Tail episode 161. Now, if you remember from last episode, the Grand Magic Games for the first day are finally done with, and we get to see the results for all the matches. Now, in my opinion, Jalel vs. Jura was by far the best match to watch, but the ending really was not fair, nor was it worth watching. Again, that is my opinion. But Jura ends up winning by default because Jalel is being messed with by Altair. Except Altair is off in the distance messing with Melody, who has a connection with the bracelet, those little link bracelets, which connect Jalel to Melody. So whatever she's feeling, he's gonna feel. So he was being tickled, at the same time, like spicy breath on his tongue and whatnot. So as you can see, this really wasn't a fair fight, not at all. And the end result was being Jura does win, but ironically doesn't know how or why. So I thought that was worth mentioning. Now, altogether, the matches led to Sabretooth winning. Now, who didn't really see that coming? I mean, it's a given that they were probably going to win for the first day. But moving on past that, toward the end of the episode, we do find out Carla is having a precognition of Levy giving a letter to Lucy. Definitely interesting. This is a few days after the Grand Magic Game ends, so I can't wait to see what it's all about. And again, that was last episode, and this is a new episode, so let's dive right in. And again, I'll hold my final thoughts on my rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right in. Now, we open up this scene in this new episode at a pub. This is the end of the first day for the Grand Magic Games, by the way. We're surrounded by Fairy Tail members, and they're getting plastered, literally plastered. And you see Markov just cheering everyone on, and again, Markov is the guild master of Fairy Tail, and he's just cheering everyone on, and surprisingly they're very psyched and happy about, even if they lost, they're still one hell of a guild, and they're not going to be broken just by that little fact that they lost both games for the first day. But moving on past that, we are taken to a different scene with Juvia, and she's wondering where Lucy and Gray's at. Now we're taken to, it looks like, now I was a little confused when I saw this at first, but then it makes sense. You know, Juvia, she always thinks if Gray's with a woman, you know, it's not going to be in her favor. He's probably going to fall in love with whatever woman he's with. So we're taken to a, looks like a dream sequence where we see Lucy and Gray. They're pissed off that they lost, obviously, and they're alone. They're not with everyone else. And we see Lucy about to kiss Gray. And that's when Juvia snaps right out of it, and she sees Lucy and Gray walk right into the pub. So I just thought that was worth mentioning. So Juvia was kind of stunned, like, oh my god, this could be happening. But no, it didn't happen at all. And then Gray, I guess Gray kind of pointed out, yeah, that would never happen, because Gray and Lucy are just too opposite of each other to even come close to that. But sorry, I digress. Moving on, we do see Markov getting everyone psyched, everyone powered up, cheering everyone on. It is definitely worth watching, because I love seeing everyone at that hype, at that level. Now moving on past that, we do actually see, well, in my opinion, it looks like the captain of the guards. I'm just putting that out there, because we're in the palace, and we don't even know the name of this damn king. At least not to my knowledge. I don't know the name of this king. We don't even get to see him. And we see the captain of the guards, this guy, we don't even know his name. And we see apparently the king wants to set up tomorrow's matches. And you're like, well, technically the sponsors do get to pick out, you know, who's going to be matched up with each other. And he's making a request with Bichus and a guy by the name of L. He wants to see L, who apparently is a shapeshifter, and he wants to see him in the next match coming up. And, you know, I guess this captain of the guard just agrees to it, and he wants to put himself into the match as well. I don't know what team he'd be for, if he actually did put his name in. I didn't really understand that sequence. I mean, is this competition and this and all these matches being controlled by the palace? I thought this was like a fair type of game, but not really. But again, I was just confused with that scene. So after we're done seeing the captain of the guards, we'll move on to a different scene. Now we see Kana, and it's kind of interesting. She's drinking like crazy, and you're like, wait, what's going on? We're seeing Kana finally, and she's getting plastered, but this guy called Bichus jumps in. You're like, wait, who's Bichus? We really don't know who the heck Bichus is, but apparently he's from Quattro Cerberus, and he's actually an S-class wizard, and he's part of the reserve team. So now we know that Quattro Cerberus has their own reserve, so that's news to me. I didn't know that. So we do see Kana versus Bichus at the pub, and they're having a drinking competition. You're like, wait, isn't Kana like the best drinker throughout this whole series? Oh my god, she loses. I was like, wow. And it gets even funnier. Bichus ends up taking Kana's bra, her top, as a trophy. Oh man, that was just, you knew Fairy Tail was going to jump on him the moment he even tried that. And they're like, Gildarch is going to kill you. It's like, yeah, bring it on. I mean, this guy looks pretty confident. Now, ironically, I'm just putting this out there, Urza knows Bichus, and he's a force to be reckoned with. Now, if Urza's saying that, it's got to be, she's got to know him very well. She definitely has to be that strong. And that was 7 years ago. She has no idea where he stands now. Now again, Fairy Tail tried to take him down, and it was a no-go. I mean, he's drunk, and he was still able to push him off. But it was definitely worth watching him. I mean, he looks amazing in my opinion. I don't know what he's doing with Quattro Cerberus, but he's amazing. And again, he is an S-class wizard, just putting that out there. So he's the same rank as Laxus and Urza. So he's in the same group. I don't know if he's stronger than Gildarts though, because Gildarts is definitely up there on the charts. But moving on to a different scene. Now we are taken back to Carla, and she's talking to Grandine. I'm not going to keep calling her Polka or whatever. I like calling her Grandine, because that's her real name, even though she doesn't like being called that. But anyway, she's talking to Grandine, who's taking care of, well, Wendy in general, and she's telling her about her precognition, this dream sequence she had about what actually happens in the future, and she points out seeing a white knight in a giant magic circle. And again, we don't really get to see this, we're just hearing her say it, so you can't really visually see this, what she's saying. And then she says the sight she couldn't even believe the sight she was seeing within this precognition. And then she sees something collapsing called the Mercus, which was collapsing. And then she says there was someone that was singing inside, and it was Lucy, and that was her precognition. So that was really not a lot to go with. I couldn't even imagine what she was really talking about, but I guess we'll find out later on in the series. Hopefully soon, because I'm interested to know what she was actually talking about. And moving on to a different scene. Yes, it is now the second day of the Grand Magic Games, and we're going right to the competition mode. I know already, I was like, what? Already that fast? Yeah, it's that fast paced, apparently. So now it's the second day Grand Magic Games, and we're in the competition part. So I guess it does make sense. Now we do have a new guest that actually joins, like the judges per se. Now, I kind of don't understand why they keep having these random guests when they really only stay for one day. But sorry, I digress. Jumping in. He's actually the reporter from, I guess, the Weekly Sorcerer, so we've seen him before, so he always sides with Fairy Tail, but I don't know what his real views are since he really doesn't say anything in this episode that contributes to any of the guilds, so I don't know who he's really rooting for, if he's rooting for anyone at all. And again, his name is Jason, so that's our new guest in general. Now moving on past that, the competition is called Chariot. That's the competition part for the second day of the Grand Magic Games. Now apparently, I don't know a lot about how this really works, like this competition, because it really wasn't that descriptive like the first day. But the way he described it, they have all these moving vehicles, and the object is, while the vehicles are moving, you are going to keep running to the end of it to get to the goal line. And if you fall off, you're disqualified. So really, there were no general rules. You could use magic, you could cheat. I mean, really, there were no rules. And again, if you fall off, yeah, you're disqualified. And guess what? For Fairy Tail, we see Natsuo. I can't believe he volunteered for this. Natsuo, vehicles, motion sickness. How does that add up? That was definitely interesting, but again, this competition, in my opinion, was not worth watching. It was more of a filler. Like, the second day is a filler right now for the competition. Just putting that out there, it was a filler. But moving on past that, we do see Natsuo, Gajeel, and Sting. All of them are competing in this competition. Guess what? I didn't know this, because I just thought it was with Natsuo only. All Dragon Slayers get motion sickness, apparently, because all three of them, they're all Dragon Slayers, although in my opinion, Sting's not a real Dragon Slayer. I'm going to keep saying that, because I don't think he is. I understand he was raised by a dragon, and yes, he has those crystals embedded in him, and yet he killed his dragon, his dad, technically, so I was like, I don't know, just bad taste in your mouth when you see him, but somehow, he's in this competition with them, and they're all have motion sickness, so I was like, how is this going to work out? Who's going to win? I mean, Sabretooth is in first place. I'm just putting that up there. I'm sorry, moving on. Now we find out Botchus actually is in this competition. Botchus, yeah, the reserve. He's from Quattro Cerberus. He's participating. Remember from yesterday, or should I say last night, he's plastered, so he's not himself. But I'm just saying, this guy is amazing. We see him destroying the vehicles. They look like a train, in my opinion. They're on a train, which is considered a moving vehicle. And you're seeing all these other characters from Blue Pegasus, Lame Scale, everyone. Mermaid Heel. And they're like all going straight ahead. You know, Sting, Natsuo, and Gajeel, they're in last place. They haven't even moved. And yet somehow Botchus destroys the freaking vehicles and takes first place automatically, getting 10 points. So it's like, they didn't even stretch out this episode. This competition was a done deal in like 5, maybe 10 minutes tops. I don't understand it. They could have stretched this out so much, but sorry, I digress. Now we do find out again, Quattro Cerberus, they're in first. Well, they're not in first place technically. I mean, in this match, in this competition, they came in first place, so they got 10 points automatically. Second place was Raventail, so yeah, no real surprise there because they've been cheating. Third place was Risley. Fourth place, I believe, was Yuka. Fifth place was Icha. I believe that was Blue Pegasus, if I'm correct. And again, no one knows who's going to come in the last 3 slots because they haven't freaking moved off the last vehicle. So we don't know who the heck's winning. You know, it's like a standoff between the motion sickness dragon slayers. Oh my god, I'm sorry, this is hilarious in my opinion because I thought these guys were badass. Now they're just weak as fuck. That's just my opinion. Moving on past that, we do see a cutscene with Sting. Now, Sting in general, I guess he's like an epic moment. This is a very epic moment in my opinion, where he's asking Gajeel and Natsuo, or basically he's talking to Natsuo in general, not so much as Gajeel, since Gajeel's not an original Fairy Tail member. But sorry, I digress. He is talking to Natsuo, and he points out what makes you so special. Why do you do what you're doing? I mean, you're in last place. And then we do see, because this is being broadcast, everyone in the stadium can hear it. And Natsuo says, well, we're friends, we're family. Even when we were gone for that time skip for those so many years, our guild was still there waiting for us. They're our friends, they're our family. And everyone in the audience was like, wow, I can't believe he's saying this. And they're like, you know what? We're going to start rooting for Fairy Tail. And it's weird, you keep seeing everyone moving. Natsuo is the only real character that's moving next to Gajeel. And guess what? Natsuo, he finishes before him. So we actually see Fairy Tail get some points on the board. And then Gajeel comes in right underneath him. And surprisingly, Sting, he doesn't even, to my knowledge, he doesn't even finish the competition. He leaves. He drops it. So Sabretooth is no longer in first place. Wow. I kind of didn't see that coming. Not at least on the second day. Maybe the 5th day, 4th day, but really, second day, they already dropped down in ranks. Yeah, didn't see that coming. But yeah, that's where the competition ends. So now we're done with the competition. And again, Sabretooth came in last place, and Quattro Cerberus came in first place. And now we see I should say, Sabretooth is no longer in first place now, they're now in second. But moving on to a different scene, now we're taken to the battle part. Yes, already, it's like a quick jump. Now we're in the battle part. And we do see Black Snake, who was actually originally in, I'm not even going to go there, I'm just going to keep pushing though. Sorry, I digress. We do see Black Snake versus Toby from Lima Scale. So we see Raventail versus Lima Scale. Interesting matchup. And they make an inside bet when they're fighting, because apparently Raven Snake says that's not his real name, and we do see apparently Toby wants to find out the truth, so he's like, okay, I'll make a bet. If I win, you gotta tell me your real name. And so, well, wait, what if you lose? Then I'll tell you one of my secrets. So it was like an inside little bet. So definitely was worth watching, worth hearing. And we do find out apparently Black Snake's actual power, he's a mimic magic. He's got mimic magic, and I think that is definitely worth watching. And again, that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts right now, I wonder if Raventail's going to win, because I definitely love this mimic magic. I have my heart, I want to bet on Raventail just a little for this matchup, because it looks like they have a realistic lead, because Toby does not look like that serious of a player. Now moving on past that, I'm wondering, just curious to see who this L is for the next matchup coming up, hopefully coming up. Because if you remember correctly, the Palace, this king, wants to see L in the matchups. And I kind of want to see Batchus, who is from Quattro Cerberus. I want to see him fight as well. I don't know if he's going to be in the matchups or not, but we'll find out. And I'll throw in one more final thought. Carla, I hope we get to see more of this precognition, at least more visually, instead of just hearing you talk about it, because it is bothering me, because I want to see it. And again, that is it for my final thoughts. As per my rating, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5, because I saw the emotion. It was definitely there, so there was emotion. As for fighting, I can't take this seriously. Come on. Honestly, there was no fighting. Toward the end of the actual episode, we see fighting, the build-up for what's going to see in the next episode, but it's not there right now. As for seeing Batchus versus Kakana, that was a drinking match. He was just drunk when he was leaving, so whatever fight you saw, that doesn't count in my opinion. And again, that competition was really, could have been longer. I'm just saying, could have been longer. And again, that ends it for my final rating. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. And that is it for my walkthrough review of Fairy Tail episode 161. But definitely comment down below, let me know, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, and definitely check me out on Twitter and follow me if you like. And again, let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know what you think's going to happen in the next episode coming up. But guys, I got to hit the bricks. I got to go. And before I go, I got to say it. Can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.